Punching, shoving, teasing, spreading bad rumors, keeping certain people out of a group, getting certain people to gang up on others are all forms of bullying.
Yeah, so bullying stops here, and I think as a future teacher, I guess we have to look at how we can make that happen. And I guess that's through teaching that empathy at a young age, putting so that student knows how it feels to be in those shoes and can actually make a connection with those other students. So they can take that perspective of the kid being bullied is really how we will begin the process of stopping bullying.
Bullying stops here.
Bullying is something which affects all of us, but to those who are bullied, you don't need to be afraid. Go talk to someone. It doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't make you a coward. It makes you a human being who's in trouble and needs help.
Bullying stops here.
Bullying stops here!
It's cruel. It stops here now. Start sticking up for yourself.
Bullying stops here.
I was bullied in high school, and I can tell you firsthand that it is a horrible feeling. It's overwhelming. It takes over your life in certain places. I did switch schools to avoid it. I wish I had the courage to stand up for myself, because it would have made a change in my life. A lot of my bullies I now see, and they've grown up, and I have had a few apologies, so it shows that people can change, but I'm just saying that bullying has to stop, and if you're getting bullied, you do need to stand on your feet and make the change.
Bullying is wrong.
Bullying stops here.
Online, 36% of girls report being bullied, compared to only 26% of boys. Cyberbullying is a huge issue in high school and continues in university. Bullying stops here.
Bullying stops here.
Bullying, it affects everybody. It doesn't. It never stops, and it's not going to stop for a long time. But with the support of friends and family, you can get through anything, and from that, it gets better.
Bullying stops here.
Bullying sucks. Don't do it.
In the school system, I used to work as a librarian, and bullying is it can be very subtle. It can be, and it's what it is. But what it does is it almost destroys a person's soul, because they always know that that person doesn't like them, and they're always waiting for that next blow, that next unkind word, that next mean thing to happen to them, and they just shrink and withdraw inside of them. And it's really hard to tell a grown-up what's going on, because all you need is one grown-up to tell you to suck it up, and then suddenly life is just hopeless. And I'm a parent, and someone bullies my children, I used to just go and tell the kid to knock it off. And I know one of my children told me once that just made it worse, and I said, really? And I went back, then that's when we started the whole system. They ended up in different classes after that. But in order to make that happen, you've really got to fight it. I know they've got all these policies and routines, but to actually implement them doesn't always happen. You need to have especially the teachers in school need to be more invested in making bullying stop. Because they're overburdened as it is. There's too many kids, they've got all this other stuff they have to do, there's mountains of paperwork, but there's still a small child who's really unhappy inside. And bullying just has to stop.
Well, this is what I have to say about bullies. Bullies sometimes have power because people give them power, and if you don't give them that power, then they have none. As an older person, what I notice now is that if somebody is a bully and nobody challenges them, they stay a bully forever. And I've also noticed that people that don't challenge bullies, they tend to get bullied for a very long time. So don't put up with it. There's a way for people to deal with bullies.
Bullying stops here.
Bullying stops here.
I think bullying is probably one of the most complex issues that we deal with in schools. And I think the research says something like only 5% of it happens where adults are there to see it. And I think that's one of the things that makes it really difficult. Because I think often, people say that we're not dealing with it as teachers, but I think one of the challenges is that to actually see it happening so that you know to deal with it. The other thing that I think about it a lot is that I think that bullying is really a big part of our society, and I think it happens in adult society as well as with children. And I think that you know, adult members of our society model it for children, and that's one of the strongest learning aids or whatever is the model. And I think that we really need to work on it as a larger societal issue rather than feeling like it's one of the things that schools should be doing.
Bullying stops here.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. This is so not true. Words do hurt kids, so stop the bullying now.
We live in a society where victims don't have enough support, and people often focus more on the bully and the reasons why they're doing what they do. For instance, my brother was bullied in elementary school, and at one point the principal took the person who was doing the bullying out for lunch to talk with him about the issues, and there was really no support for my brother who was the victim. We need to make sure that in our society we provide support for both the victim and the person who's doing it, because there are reasons behind it. There needs to be support and help for those people, but also for the victims. Yeah.
And I find that bullying has kind of been normalized because there's usually the people that are saying, oh, well, everyone's been bullied at some point in time in their life, and, you know, it's just a phase, people will get through it. But it's really not. We shouldn't normalize it. Bullying is not normal. It's not normal to go to school and feel scared. It's not normal to go anywhere and feel scared. People should feel comfortable with themselves, and they shouldn't have to deal with those mental scars on a daily basis or even for the rest of their life.
Bullying stops here.
Bullying stops here.
When I was in high school, there was a girl in our school who had a lot of acne and always walked down the hallway at lunchtime to go to the washroom. And when she was walking down the hallway, there was like a swarm of girls that would come out and screech at her and say, you know, very negative things towards her. And I remember seeing this going on and really wanting to talk to the teachers about it, and I didn't, because I was afraid they were going to do that to me. And I really wish that I would have, because after grade 9, you know, we had the summer break, and it came back in grade 10, and we found out that that girl had committed suicide. And I don't know why she did, but I wondered if it was just such a hard experience that she couldn't take it anymore. And so, you know, that's when I really realized the breadth of this problem, and that it isn't something that it's a small problem. I think you really need to do something about it if you're in a position to do so.
I'm wearing pink today in support of non-bullying. And you know what pink rhymes with? Yes, think. We need to think about what we're doing. So if you're a bully, think about it. Don't do it.
As a future educator, I feel as though I'm going to see bullying on a day-to-day basis. And I don't think educational staffs are doing everything in their power to stop it. A child shouldn't feel afraid to come to school, to learn, or to even be themselves. Everyone has the freedom to be who they want, and no child should get bullied for it. I, for one, will not tolerate it. Bullying stops here.